confirmation that Punz knows what's in the revival book.
Yo.
Oh god.
From who?
Where?
Oh yeah!
Oh
yeah,
my
because
god.
Punz looked at the revival
Punz
book.
looks at the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to
Now-
go. I'll be back soon.
Okay,
See-
bye, Golden.
Okay, see
To
ya.
argue against my own point, it also could simply be there because Punz looks at the book and then looks to Dream. So it may be him simply contemplating basically what
Yeah.
this level of power is doing to the person that he once called a friend.
I do believe that he knows what's in the book because it makes sense with how Dream was behaving during the Discord finale. Because in the Discord finale, he was ready to go for like that being hated and everything.
What was in this hallway over here?
Dream was collecting every single thing that meant something to people in order to use them.
And he was ready to lose all his life if necessary. He lost 2 and he planned it out. So yeah, we talked a bit about it. He obviously didn't know he was going to lose 2 lives, but he was ready to take the risk. And I think knowing that someone else could bring him back if it turned out to go really, really wrong, it makes sense for me. But also, I cannot help but think that if he gave this knowledge to Punz, just in case, because he trusts him and he knows that Punz fully trusts him too, and wouldn't betray him actually, I actually trust Punz's trust in Dream more than I trust Dream's trust in Punz.
Yeah.
I do believe that he wants this power very exclusively, and I'm kind of scared. Like, for now, it's useful that Punz knows, but what about the future? You know, the guy has little to no ethics. I mean, he literally killed and revived people to
Test
Yeah, I
it.
have to agree with that, like, with the whole thing that I do think that Punz trusts Dream more than Dream trusts Punz, in a way that if there was to happen a betrayal to happen between them, it would be Dream that would betray Punz. I don't think Punz has any reason to betray Dream when Dream we don't know what to expect from him. He can do
No.
anything from his own like.
If Punz was going to betray Dream, he would have done it for real at the final Disc War.
I think the only reason that Punz would betray Dream is if Punz sees that Dream is going to betray him first.
True, yeah.
Punz
Yeah.
is a smart man. He has made his way through this world and lived on all 3 canon lives by being smart. So
Yeah.
if he sees that Dream is going to betray him, he might question it, but I do think that out of self-preservation, he would probably betray Dream first.
It really feels like
Yep.
Punz admires Dream a lot. It doesn't, from Punz, like, it doesn't feel like Punz is scared of whatever Dream is doing. Punz doesn't, like, it's not like he doesn't care. It's more like, if he cares, it's something like he either likes what Dream does or he just doesn't care. I don't think there's any negatives to, like, Punz seeing what Dream does and, like, he isn't just abused.
I do believe that too. I don't believe he's abused at all. He has shown that he agreed and wanted that relationship for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I totally agree with that. Right now, they're absolutely friends. But I do believe Punz believes in this friendship deeply. I'm not so sure about Dream. I think Dream relies on this friendship and is probably feeling he trusts Punz and he's feeling nice around him, like he's feeling like he's not in danger and he probably likes it. But I'm not so sure that Dream would never betray Punz. I actually
It's actually more likely that Dream would betray Punz.
Exactly. Dream has been betraying people for so long now. He betrayed his friends. He betrayed
George and Sapnap.
Yeah. George and Sapnap. He betrayed George like really greatly.
Dream also, he did betray Tubbo, but because he intended to from the very beginning. He intended to manipulate him.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Dream is planning to betray. Maybe Dream is planning to betray Punz from the beginning. I don't know. It's just possible. The thing with Dream is that we never can really expect anything from him. We never know what to expect.
That's because the only thing he hasn't betrayed ever is his intentional plan. and he has sacrificed other people liking him. He has sacrificed his image. He has sacrificed other people's happiness and even his happiness, like in like a normal life. He has sacrificed so much to it, and he would probably never betray that objective that he has.
It's not necessarily that Dream will turn on anyone at a dime, but he is going to stick to his goals. Granted, this is me having no clue what the heck his plan is. I think right now, and I think throughout, he probably needs Punz as an ally. Now that might change, but at least currently I don't see Dream betraying Punz.
And he's not going to betray for the sake of betraying. I agree with that. So it's kind of like with Lemberg and Schlatt's regime, and he didn't want to be on Schlatt's side, and he actually supported Pogtopia during this time, not because he actually liked Pogtopia, but because it fitted more his objectives at the time, and him being on the good side or the right side doesn't matter to him. And he's not going to do evil things to do evil things. He's going to do them because it's useful to him.
Yeah, he tends to use people until they don't benefit him anymore.
As soon as Schlatt was it was opposite of what he thought Schlatt would be.
He switched, right?
Turned on that.
Yeah.
Wait, no, this doesn't align with what I wanted. I thought it did. Wait, no.
He doesn't betray to betray, and he's not going evil just to be evil. He definitely has a reason to do what he does, and I think it's also what happened in the lab with Punz at the beginning of the video. He was like, okay, how are we gonna test it? He wasn't like, we must kill people.
He suggested killing off Filza.
Yeah, but it was not very malicious. It was almost practical.
Well, what about someone old? We can just say it was an accident or something. Like Phil. I mean, he's pretty old. He might die soon anyway.
No, people will notice. He has tons of allies.
At the time, it almost aligned with the scientific mind, like I described with Tubbo. When Tubbo was like, "Oh, let's test the nuke and just explode one part of the map," and whatever if someone is he didn't say it, but destroying nature, possibly killing people, wasn't really very important, and testing was the most important part. And what Dream showed, in my opinion, at that time was less evil and malicious, more scientific kind of thing. But he wants others to believe that it's what he is. He wants others to believe he's just evil maniac, and he's putting a lot of effort into it.
Pay a visit to Kanoko, if you even make it out of this room.
Okay. I'll figure out where it is. Bye.
No.
See you, Sapnap. See you, Sapnap.
No.
I mean, it's interesting, but right now, he's the one who probably needs friends more than anyone else, and yet he's not making any.
Yeah, but he needs allies, maybe, but I don't really see Dream just having allies. His 2 allies currently, as far as I know, actually no, 3 allies, I guess, it's are Rambo, Punz, and maybe Bad. We don't know what's going on with Bad. Hi, Golden.
Hi, Golden.
You're thinking Dream is thinking probably, but right now, he's in constant danger. The whole server is looking to kill him. So right now, his best interest would probably to actually get people on his side and protect him in a way, or actually being able to betray others.
I don't know that he necessarily does, simply because he's proven all the way along that he's kind of a one-man army. He doesn't really
he's not like the other people who need a faction to help.
If he wants to disappear, he can. If he wants to show up and destroy a nation, he can.
I think Dream, what's happening right now with Dream is something that he planned. We don't know what exactly is happening, but we know that he planned it. That means that if he needed allies, he would get them. So
that's true. I think actually, if he needed allies, if he really needed allies, he would get some. But yet, he's aware of it. He knows. He said to Tommy, "I'm going to convince them that I changed, and everybody is gonna believe me, and no one is gonna believe you." And yet, he never did that. He has an act of wanting to be terribly scary. And I do believe he wants to be scary, especially to Tommy, because it's his new discs. It's not a material possession. It's a way to enter people's brain and control them in another way that doesn't require a material item.
Mm-hmm.
He controls Tommy with that fear.
I'm also not sure that his plan was ever to actually try and control people with material items. I think part of what happened with Spirit and the whole L'Manberg, like during Tubbo's era, was he realized the power of fear.
Okay, listen, you fucked up this time.
What the fuck? Dream, don't swear, please.
No. I don't give a fuck about Spirit, okay? I don't give a fuck about anything, actually. I care about your discs. I care more about your disc than you do. That's the only thing I care about in the server, actually. I don't care about Spirit. Spirit was my horse. Died ages ago. I care about your disc, because that's what gives me power over you and your friends and everybody that you care about, because you care about your disc more than anyone else here.
Yeah.
True.
So he's now effectively doing an experiment to see how far he can push that.
Yeah. Dream basically just like controls people's fear. The fear of death is one of the most common fears just anywhere. And Dream just like took people's fear of death and he uses it for his own benefit.
Yeah.